Hi everyone, welcome back, and in this video I'm going to give you some information on data governance. So let's get into it. So data governance, also known as DG, is a process of managing the security, integrity, usability and availability of the data in an organization. Now, organization gets data from multiple sources, okay? It has multiple applications that they have in their organization that collect data about their organization, about customers, vendors, third parties, etc. So they are dealing with so much of data every day, okay? And we all know how important data is, which we'll be seeing in the other forthcoming slides of the video. But since this data is so important, the very first concern is about security. So data needs to be secure. Second one is integrity, making the right use of data, okay, and not misusing data. The third one is usability. We have so much of data, but are we able to make use of that data? Is it useful for us in any way? So usability of the data and also availability of data. Data would definitely needs to be available to certain people at certain times in order to make decisions, in order to do certain calculations and processing. So to manage all these different aspects is what data governance is all about. And data governance is based on micro and macro factors, okay? Micro factors are nothing but the internal policies and standards. So within the organization they would be having certain policies and standards regarding how the data has to be managed. And macro factors are external policies and standards which are established, okay, global data standards that need to be followed. For example, for healthcare industries you have the HIPAA. So similar to this, every organization they need to comply to certain external policies and standards also relating to data governance. So why data governance? Before going into why we need data governance, let us look at why data first. Now we all know that data is a valuable asset. It's also called as the new age currency. Okay, that's how important data is. And organizations are making use of data in n number of ways to get lot of advantages out of it. Some of them are to make decisions. So they use data in order to understand different aspects and to make decisions. The second one is discover problems. Now within data, we all know that data can tell us stories. So within that data, if you are really good in interrogating the data and finding out what's with the data, you'll be able to identify certain problems that might be relating to your customers, relating to your sales, relating to your products, etc. The next one is analyzing trends. You'll be able to analyze trends about your business or about your product, about customer purchases, etc. The next one is predicting. So based on existing data, you will be able to predict the future. Predict, for example, how will your sales be? How will the next year financial forecast be? So all this comes under prediction. Next one is you'll be able to visualize information. So it's very tough for people to just go through information with a large Excel sheet or with a large DB, but visualization can convey the message very easily, and it's very easily able to understand by other people. The next one is data can also act as references when other dependent people need to use certain set of data that are used globally. Data can also act as reference data. And the last one is uncover hidden story. Data is conveying, okay? So data will definitely convey to you number of stories. So we have data scientists who take up these data sets and they try to understand what type of story is that particular data set trying to give us. So the more you're able to dig into that data set, the more information, the more insights you'll be able to uncover. So every time, in order to uncover those hidden stories the data is trying to convey, you can use this data. So that's how valuable data is for every organization. So when data is so valuable, we need to definitely manage that data in such a way that it follows these it satisfies these three criterias. So let me show you a bird's eye view of data chaos. If there's no data governance, this is how a bird's eye view would look like. You'll have people depending on another department's data. For example, the sales team, they need customer account details for any sales promotions, etc. You have the marketing team, they need the sales data. So your data is all in silos. It's not integrated well so that it can pass on or be used by other people. If you're not having a very secure data infrastructure and security wall, definitely people will try to hack into your information. And data is very important. It has so much of confidential information, personal identifying information. So if you're not going to manage security, then you'll be finding hackers interrogating and getting into your information. The next one is data analysts. They are the ones who analyze the company's data and portrays what's happening in order for management teams and other teams to take decisions. So if data is not going to be structured, then it's going to be a whole chaos from the data analyst end to cleanse the data and to manipulate the data so that it can be used for analysis. On the other end, people want reports. The management teams and other departments, they'll be needing real-time reports of different aspects about sales, about purchases, etc. So if you're not going to have updated data, then imagine people having to work with stale reports or update it every time. Then after that, you'll be finding some people, you have personalized information. If you're not going to maintain some policy, then people, you would find personal information being leaked out. So that's where you need to set certain policies and standards as to who will access what type of a data. And then if you see, people, if they don't have any access controls, they would be able to see confidential information. So this is the type of chaos that would exist. Now these are just few aspects, but there are n number of aspects that can happen when you don't have data governance in place. Okay, and that can be a really serious issue. So in order to overcome all these issues and chaoses is where data governance comes in. And the benefits of data governance is usability and availability. So you'll be able to integrate all the enterprise applications and you'll be able to build a data ecosystem. So every application in your organization will be able to connect with one another. Information will be able to smoothly flow from one department to another. So data is readily available to everyone. Also, you'll be able to ensure using data governance, you'll be having a lot of rules that are put by the governance team as to how the data should be collected, how data validation should take place, and through this you'll be having a very good quality of data, by which you can use that good quality of data to do some analytics and you'll be able to make use of it. Next one is you'll be able to manage consistent and updated data. So you won't have the pains of getting stale data. Every time once all data is integrated and it's flowing well, you'll be having consistent and updated data. Also, if you see, there are MDMs. I've taken a video on what is master data management. Master data management will create unique records. So you won't have any chances of having duplicate customers, any duplicate records of any entity. So all that is being managed, you'll have a single source of truth and you'll have the updated data. Also, you would see data governance will ensure security and integrity. So it will restrict certain data. If certain people based upon that rule are not able to access data, then it will automatically restrict data to people. It will monitor the data usage and who is accessing what type of a data using data lineage, and then later you'll be using data in the right way. So governance will set certain values and rules and policies and standards which automatically encourage people to use data in a very right way and not to misuse data. So if you see the team who is responsible for data governances, you'll have the separate governance team consisting of the data officer, a manager, you'll have the data stewards, and also you'll have the data engineers. All of them are important and all of them come together in order to manage data governance of an organization. And also data governance, it will span across the entire organization, because at every stage you're dealing with data and you need to know how that data needs to be managed and who has to access this data, what type of data can be shown to who, all this. So data governance should span across the entire organization. Now you must be wondering why I'm talking about data governance, but apart from this data governance committee, everyone else in the organization should know what is data governance and how to manage data, because all of us are dealing with data. It can be less confidential or it can be very confidential information or it can be normal. We need to have a mindset as to how we need to utilize this data in the right way. And also as business analysts, when we develop a product or a service, we need to make sure, because every client or every user, the first priority is that their data should be secure, because nowadays applications are collecting so much of personal information. So if it's not going to be secure, then no matter what features you have, like full-fledged, full-blown features, no one is going to ever come if there's no security. So you also need to make sure whatever application you're building, there would be definitely some standard, apart from the client side data governance policies, there would be some standard policies that sometimes you need to abide with and you need to incorporate in your application. So for example, if you're dealing with just a simple organization portfolio where you can view other employees details like skills and their projects that they have worked on, it's fine, anyone can go and view anyone's projects, it's just like a LinkedIn profile. But imagine if you have to go, if you're able to view someone's salary details, someone's appraisal details, someone's compensations, all this is going to be confidential information and personal information that should not be shared with everyone except certain people like the HRs, etc. So this is how should keep in mind the data governance and what type of standards need to be followed, and you'll be able to incorporate in your applications. So I hope you got a little bit of information on what is data governance, and if you found this video useful, please do give this a video a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe to this channel, and also do share your feedback. Thank you.